Hey, if you understand what we're saying right now, but speaking English still feels impossible, stay with us.
Because today's episode was made specifically for you, not for beginners, not for advanced speakers, for the person stuck in the middle, understanding everything, speaking almost nothing.
That gap between understanding and speaking, it has a name, it has a reason, and it has a fix.
And by the end of this episode, you will understand exactly why it happens and exactly what to do about it.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Anna. Welcome to Speak First English, where we speak first and think second. Anna, before we get into today's topic, I want to ask you something. Do you remember the moment you realized your passive English and your active English were two completely different things?
Oh, yes, very clearly. I was watching a movie, an American sitcom, and I understood every joke, every cultural reference. I was laughing at the right moments. I felt fluent.
That sounds amazing.
And then the next day, I had to speak English in a real situation, and I sounded like a different person. Slow, searching, half sentences, like someone had replaced my confident sitcom brain with a nervous beginner.
The sitcom brain and the real-life brain.
Two completely different things, and understanding why, that's where everything changes. Today's topic is one of the most common and most frustrating experiences in language learning.
You understand English. You really do. Podcasts, movies, conversations, you follow them. You know what's happening. You get the jokes. You catch the nuances.
But the moment someone expects you to speak, your mouth doesn't cooperate. The words are there somewhere, but they don't come out, or they come out slowly, awkwardly, nothing like the way you hear them.
And you think, what is wrong with me? I understand it perfectly. Why can't I speak it?
Nothing is wrong with you. This is one of the most normal, most predictable things in language learning. It's called the receptive-productive gap, and today we explain it and close it.
If this episode is exactly what you or someone you know needs right now, please share it. Because somewhere right now there's a person who has been learning English for years, understands everything, and still says, "My English is not good enough to speak." This episode is their answer.
Let's go. Jake, let's explain what is actually happening in that gap, because once you understand the mechanics, the frustration becomes a plan.
Good. So let's start with a question. When you listen to or read English, what is your brain doing?
It's recognizing, matching what it hears to things it already knows. Oh, that word means this. That sentence structure means that. It's pattern matching, recognition.
Right, and recognition is a passive skill. Your brain sees the input and finds the match in its database. Quick, automatic, smooth when you've heard enough English.
But speaking is completely different. Speaking is retrieval and production, under pressure, in real time, with no time to search.
Think of it like reading a map versus driving a route.
Oh, that's a perfect picture.
You can look at a map, see the whole city, understand every road, know where everything is. That's listening comprehension. You can see it all.
But driving that route, navigating in real time, making decisions under pressure, reacting to traffic, taking the right turn at the right moment, that's speaking. It uses completely different skills.
You can be excellent at reading maps and terrible at driving the route, not because you're not intelligent, not because you don't know the city, but because you haven't driven it enough.
And that's the gap. Not a knowledge gap, a practice gap. You know the city, you've just never driven the roads.
So the fix is not more studying, it's more driving.
More driving. That's the whole episode.
Can I share something honest about my own gap and how long I didn't understand why it was there?
Please, this is exactly the story people need to hear.
So for about 2 years, I was what I'd call a passive English champion. I watched everything in English: movies, podcasts, YouTube videos, with subtitles, without subtitles. I understood about 90% of everything.
That sounds impressive.
It sounds impressive, but it was also a trap, because every hour I spent listening was an hour I felt productive, like I was learning. And I was learning. My passive English was growing, but my active English stayed exactly the same, almost zero real output.
Because input and output are two different muscles.
Exactly, and I only understood this when a friend of mine who had studied English less time than me spoke much more naturally and freely, and I couldn't understand why. His vocabulary was smaller, his grammar was less precise, but he spoke fluently, comfortably.
What was the difference?
He spoke all the time, to anyone, in any situation. He didn't wait until he was ready. He didn't care about mistakes. He just spoke, every day, in small moments, and his speaking muscle had been trained while mine had been ignored.
You were training your ears. He was training his mouth.
And you cannot train your mouth by training your ears. They're different muscles. The gym for speaking is speaking, nothing else.
That realization changed everything for you?
Everything. And today's tips are exactly what I wish someone had told me then.
Let's get into the tips. Tip number 1, and this one is the foundation of everything that follows. Tip 1, make the output shift.
The output shift. What does that mean exactly?
Right now, most people with this gap spend 80–90% of their English time on input, listening, watching, reading, and almost zero time on output, speaking, producing, using.
And they wonder why their speaking doesn't improve, but the answer is simple. You improve what you practice.
The output shift means changing that ratio, not completely reversing it, just shifting. Even a 20% shift toward output creates dramatic results.
So instead of spending 1 hour watching English content, spend 40 minutes watching and 20 minutes doing something that requires you to produce English.
And producing English doesn't mean having a live conversation with a native speaker. That's a high-pressure format that most people avoid, and for good reason when you're just starting output.
Output can be much simpler. Talking to yourself, describing what you see around you, narrating your morning routine out loud alone.
These count, all of them, because your mouth is working. Your brain is retrieving, not just recognizing. The production muscle is being used.
Think of it like strength training. If you only ever watch weightlifters compete, you learn a lot about technique, but your muscles stay exactly the same.
You have to lift the weight yourself, even a small weight, even alone, even awkwardly at first.
The output shift. Move 20% of your English time from watching to producing, and watch what changes. Tip number 2, and this one might sound strange at first, but it's one of the most powerful tools for closing the speaking gap. Tip 2, talk to yourself in English, regularly, on purpose.
We're giving people permission to talk to themselves.
Full permission, and here's why it works. Talking to yourself in English removes all the pressure that freezes most speakers, the fear of judgment, the embarrassment, the anxiety of being evaluated.
It's just you. No audience, no stakes, no one to judge your accent or your grammar. Just you and the English language having a conversation.
And in that zero-pressure environment, your brain can actually practice retrieval, finding words, building sentences, connecting ideas, without the freeze.
And over time, that practice transfers. The words that you've retrieved 100 times alone come out more easily in real conversations because they're already trained. The path is already worn in.
So think of it like a trail in a forest. The first time you walk through, it's hard. There's no path. You push through branches. It takes effort.
But every time you walk the same trail, it gets clearer. The branches fall away. The path gets worn in, and eventually you can walk it without thinking.
Your speaking paths in English are trails. Talking to yourself wears them in, so that when you need them in a real conversation, they're already there.
Practical ideas for talking to yourself. Narrate your morning. I'm making coffee. It's a little cold today. I have 3 meetings this afternoon, and I'm not excited about the first one. Real thoughts, English words, out loud.
Or do a daily English debrief. At the end of the day, 2 minutes out loud. Tell yourself what happened. In English, what did you do? What was good? What was hard?
Or after watching something in English, pause it and explain to yourself what just happened, in your own words, out loud, in English, without the subtitles.
That last one is incredibly powerful because you're not just processing input anymore, you're producing output from input. That's the gap closing in real time.
Talk to yourself, out loud, in English, every day, even 3 minutes. It is not strange. It is training.
Tip number 3. And this one connects your passive listening directly to active speaking, like a bridge between the 2 sides of the gap. Tip 3, use shadowing practice.
Shadowing. Tell us exactly what this is, because some people have heard of it but don't know how to do it properly.
Shadowing means you listen to a short piece of English, a sentence, a few sentences, a short paragraph, and you repeat it out loud. immediately or almost immediately, trying to match not just the words, but the rhythm, the speed, the intonation, the pauses.
You're not reading a transcript, you're listening and repeating, like an echo of the original speaker.
And this is powerful for several reasons. First, it forces output. Your mouth is moving. You're producing English, not just receiving it.
Second, it trains your mouth on real, natural English patterns, not textbook English, real phrases, real rhythms, real connected speech.
Third, and this is the most underrated part, it shows you the gap between how English sounds and how you produce it. The first time you shadow something, you hear how different your version sounds from the original. And that gap, hearing that specific gap, tells you exactly what to practice.
So how do we do shadowing practically? Step 1, choose a short clip. 15 to 30 seconds of clear, natural spoken English. This podcast works perfectly.
Step 2, listen to it once. Just listen. Get the overall meaning.
Step 3, listen again. This time, repeat aloud, slightly behind the speaker, echoing their words and rhythm as closely as you can. Don't worry about perfection. Just try.
Step 4, do it again and again. 3-4 times. Notice how your version gets closer to the original each time.
5 minutes of shadowing practice is worth more for your speaking than an hour of passive listening because you are producing, not just receiving.
Shadowing practice. Pick a clip, listen, echo, repeat. Close the gap one shadow at a time.
Tip number 4, and this one is about where and how you practice speaking with other people in a way that doesn't trigger the freeze. Tip 4, lower the stakes.
The freeze happens when the stakes feel too high, when we think, this is important, I must not make a mistake, they will judge me.
And high-stakes speaking, a job interview, a presentation, a conversation we want to impress, is the worst environment for practicing a new skill. It's like learning to swim in the middle of the ocean.
You need the shallow end first.
Low-stakes speaking environments are places where making a mistake costs nothing, where the other person is patient, where the conversation is short and low pressure.
Here are some examples. Shop assistants, asking a question in a shop, ordering something, saying thank you. Short, simple, low stakes.
Online language exchange partners, someone who is learning your language while you learn English. You both make mistakes, neither person judges the other. Equal footing.
Voice notes to yourself or a friend instead of texts. Instead of writing, record a 30-second voice message in English. Send it, done. Low pressure output.
Comment sections. Writing a comment in English under an English YouTube video or podcast. Writing is output too. It builds the same retrieval skill as speaking.
And this podcast, the comments section here. Every comment you write in English is a low-stakes speaking practice. We read every one, and we never judge.
The progression is practice alone first, then low stakes, then medium stakes, then high stakes. Don't start at the top. The shallow end exists for a reason.
Lower the stakes. Find your shallow end. Swim there until the deep water doesn't feel so deep. And our final tip, tip 5. And this one is the simplest of all, and possibly the most powerful. Tip 5, make the one-sentence promise.
One-sentence promise. Tell us.
Every single day, promise yourself one sentence in English, spoken out loud to anyone or to no one, just one sentence. That's the whole promise.
One sentence sounds almost too small to matter.
That's exactly why it works, because it's impossible to fail. You always have one sentence in you. Even on the most exhausted, most unmotivated day, one sentence is achievable.
And the magic is almost nobody stops at one sentence. You say one sentence and then another comes, because starting is the hardest part. The engine warms up after the first word.
Think of it like a door. The one-sentence promise just opens the door, slightly, a crack, and once the door is open, speaking comes through it.
And here is what happens when you do this every day for 30 days. Your brain starts to expect speaking. It starts to prepare for it. The retrieval paths get worn in. The gap gets narrower.
Not because you did something dramatic, but because you showed up every day with one sentence, and one sentence became two, and two became five, and five became a real conversation.
Consistency is the only thing that closes the gap. Not intensity, not perfection, just every day, one sentence minimum.
I have a practical version of this. Every morning before I check my phone, one sentence, out loud, in English, anything. It's a beautiful day. I'm so tired. I need coffee. Just one.
And sometimes that one sentence becomes a minute-long monologue because you got started and couldn't stop. And that's the point.
The one sentence promise. Make it, keep it, every day. Watch the gap close.
Anna, today we used some really important words that describe this exact experience, understanding without speaking. Let's look at them.
Yes, our word tour. These words will help you understand and explain this experience in English and talk about the journey of language learning with others.
First word, passive.
Passive means receiving or absorbing without actively doing. In language learning, passive skills are listening and reading. My passive English is strong. I understand almost everything. Or passive knowledge is not enough for real communication.
The opposite, active or productive skills.
Active or productive skills are the ones where you create output, speaking and writing. I need to work on my active English more, or productive skills take longer to develop, but they're the ones that matter in conversation.
Then retrieve or retrieval.
To retrieve means to find and bring something back. In language, it means finding a word or phrase from your memory to use in speaking. Speaking requires fast retrieval. You don't have time to search. Or the more you practice speaking, the faster your retrieval becomes.
We also said fluent or fluency.
Fluent means able to speak a language easily and naturally without stopping to translate or search. Fluency is not perfection. It's the ability to keep going. Or, I want to feel fluent, not just correct.
And output.
Output means something you produce. In language learning, it means the English you speak or write. I spend a lot of time on input, but not enough on output. Or increasing your output even slightly changes your speaking faster than any other method.
And one more, consistent or consistency.
Consistent means doing something regularly, without big gaps. Consistency means the quality of being regular and reliable over time. Speaking a little every day is more powerful than speaking for hours once a week. Or consistency closes the gap that perfection never could.
Your Speaking Gym challenge today, and this one is non-negotiable. Say one sentence in English out loud, right now, after we finish this sentence. Any sentence, about anything. One, out loud.
That is your one sentence promise. That is your first rep. Do it. Okay, 4 steps. Starting today, starting now.
Step 1. Make the output shift. Take 20% of the time you normally spend consuming English and redirect it to producing English, talking to yourself, shadowing, voice notes, comments. 20%, starting today.
Step 2, talk to yourself in English for 3 minutes today. Narrate something, debrief your day, describe your room, explain what you had for lunch. 3 minutes, out loud, in English.
Step 3, shadow one short clip today. This podcast right now, pause it after any sentence and repeat it out loud 3 times. Match the rhythm, close the gap a little.
And step 4, make the one sentence promise. Every morning, before your phone, before anything, one sentence in English out loud. That is your daily minimum. Make it a rule.
Let's recap our 5 tips.
Tip 1, the output shift. Move 20% of your English time from input to output. You improve what you practice.
Tip 2, talk to yourself alone out loud in English every day. Narrate, debrief, describe, train the paths.
Tip 3, shadowing practice. Listen, echo, repeat. Connect your passive listening to active speaking. Close the gap directly.
Tip 4, lower the stakes. Find your shallow end. shop assistants, voice notes, comments, language partners. Build real speaking experience without the freeze.
Tip 5. The one-sentence promise. One sentence every day. Non-negotiable. That minimum is the door, and the door always opens.
And our question for you today, very simple, very honest.
How long have you understood English but not spoken it freely? How many months? How many years?
Write it in the comments, just a number. 6 months, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is, name it. And then write, which tip are you starting with today?
Because today is the day the gap starts closing. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Today.
You understood every word of this episode. We know you did. And that means your passive English is real and strong.
Now it's time for the other side. The speaking side. The active side. The side that lets you actually use everything you already know.
You have been preparing for long enough. The time to drive is now.
We believe in you. Genuinely.
This was Speak First English.
Until next time, speak first, think second. And please, say something out loud today. Just one sentence. It matters more than you know.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.